being your own best advocates. You have to advocate for yourself or the patient, whoever it is. And it's with any condition, obviously, but with hydrocephalus, you know when something is wrong. The pediatric neurosurgeons at Primary Children's, they say 9 times out of 10, mom is right. So whatever mom says, just do it. Or dad, whoever knows their kid the best, you do it. Because your gut reaction is usually exactly what's going on. With my first few shunt failures, well, especially the first one, I kept saying something is wrong, something is wrong. But it was the first time I had had a shunt, and I didn't know exactly how to work with that neurosurgeon to explain what was going on. And he was kind of stubborn about it. He said, "No, you just had brain surgery. It's your first time around. You know, you're fine. Your shunt's going to work for life." And I kept just saying, "No, something is wrong." And I remember my wonderful dad sitting me down one night saying, "Honey, maybe this is what you get to do. Maybe this is life. And you just got to suck it up somehow. I don't know how to help you do that." And he was very sweet and just, well, this is what the neurosurgeon said, because that was our only experience with hydrocephalus, was what this one doctor said. And the next day I was in a coma. My shunt had completely failed. It had clogged. The catheter in the brain had clogged. And there was no way for them to know that except to go in and see, oh, the catheter is clogged with the floaties that are in your spinal fluid. We didn't know there were floaties in spinal fluid. We didn't know that a shunt could clog, or let alone fail, because that doctor had told us, no, you get one shunt and you're good for life. So it was very humbling for us to find that out. And I remember my dad just apologizing. He's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know." And we don't know. And those newly diagnosed, you don't know what your body is going to do and how it presents with shunt failure. But those symptoms, the headache, the dizziness, the nausea, the vomiting especially, the irritability, changes in sleep behavior, all of that add up. But when you only have 1 or 2 of the symptoms, it's hard to put it all together. So you have to, if you are the patient, you have to know your body. You have to become hyper aware for a while at least, not hypochondriacally aware, but you have to be very aware of what's going on with your body and be able to describe it to your neurosurgeon. So when I first presented with hydrocephalus, my only symptom was dizziness. And that dizziness, well, was it like you're on every doctor? Is it like you're on a ship and it's rocky back and forth, or the room is spinning? I'm like, yeah, no, none of those things. I'm just dizzy. Why is this so hard? I'm dizzy so much so that I'm very nauseated from it. And it doesn't matter if I'm laying down or standing up. It's just constantly dizzy. And I finally was able to put it into words. I'm like, it feels like a molded Jell-O is jiggling in my brain. And that was the doctor I said that to who ordered the MRI. And on the MRI, it was very clear that it was hydrocephalus. It was just a big butterfly of spinal fluid. It looks in the brain, just a dark, filling up the brain, just dark fluid. So there was no question what was going on. But again, well, I'm dizzy. Well, that can mean you're pregnant, or you're on your period, or any other things. You haven't eaten very well that week, or you have a cold, sinus infection, allergies. It can be anything. But it was hydrocephalus and I needed brain surgery. So you really have to advocate for yourself. Even last year, now we had gone through the 4 surgeries in college, 4 surgeries in the previous few months. And with my neuro team, I had to be very, very almost stern, like, no, that is not what needs to happen. I swear, this is what's going on. I promise you, I'm not making it up. But it was suggested that maybe it's not as severe as you're saying, maybe. And I just had to advocate for myself. And my husband had to get in their faces a couple times, like, no, this is what's going on. We know this is what's going on. And sure enough, when they finally went in for brain surgery, they found what was going on and that the shunt wasn't working as it was supposed to. So you have to advocate for yourself or your child or your parent if it's an elderly patient with hydrocephalus. And sometimes the patient can't say exactly what's going on. They can't describe the symptoms because they're in a coma, or they're just not as aware as they could be because they're a child, or whatever the cause. Put on your Sherlock Holmes hat and do your best, but work with your neuro team, with your pediatrician, with whoever it is on your front line for your health team. You really have to be very careful about, not careful, you really have to be adamant about what is going on, very straightforward, and that includes keeping a symptom diary. I know we talk about that for dieting and other things, but really keeping a symptom diary shows it really helps you and your health team put together the whole puzzle of what is going on.